How did the epidemic really originate in Raccoon City? Many people believe that William Birkin was the sole individual responsible, or that Umbrella deliberately released the virus. However, the truth is far more intricate, and its origins trace back much earlier than September 22nd. The true ground zero of this event dates all the way back to 1988. In the Arklay Mountains, within Umbrella's training facility, James Marcus, one of the corporation's founders, was perfecting the T-virus. However, Oswell E. Spencer began to see him as a threat. He feared that Marcus would use the virus to challenge his authority within Umbrella, so he sent two promising young researchers, William Birkin and Albert Wesker, to assassinate him and seize his work. Spencer believed that by eliminating the creator, he would control the creation, but he was wrong. Marcus didn't die completely. His Queen Leech absorbed his genetic material, and for 10 years, a biological fusion took place. In May of 1998, that entity awakens with Marcus's consciousness and a clear desire to get revenge on Spencer and destroy Umbrella from within. And this is where the disaster truly begins. Marcus releases the T-virus in the training center and on the Ecliptic Express. But this was not an impulsive act. Marcus knew Umbrella's infrastructure better than anyone, because he helped design it. He understood the intricate connections between the treatment plants, the ventilation systems, and the subterranean complexes. A crucial element was the P12A waste treatment facility located in Arklay. When sabotaged, the virus didn't just infect an isolated building. It began to seep through waste systems and ducts linked to other facilities, including the nest complex beneath Raccoon City. This explains something important. When we explore the nest, we find scientists already zombified in high-security areas. We see no signs of a recent explosion down below. We're seeing signs that the infection was already present even before the Birkin incident. Meanwhile, up on the surface, reports of cannibalistic murders in the Arklay Mountains had already started as early as May and June of 1998. This means that the T-virus was already quite active for months before the city's official collapse. Nos que sei dasa penitens. The Cerberos and other Bioblos attacked civilians and hikers. Some survived the bites and were then transferred to Raccoon City General Hospital. This is where the logical part comes in. The doctors had no idea they were treating the T-virus. They attempted to save the patients, admitted them, and isolated them as best they could, but by doing so, they inadvertently allowed the virus to spread throughout the hospital. Consequently, the infection began to incubate within the city much earlier than September. Simultaneously, Police Chief Brian Irons, who had been bribed by Umbrella, obstructed investigations and actively discredited the STARS unit. Reports on disappearances and attacks were concealed. The city didn't just explode overnight, it slowly became infected, spreading from the periphery to the center. Then comes September 22nd. William Birkin is attacked, and he breaks the vials of the G-virus and the T-virus. This event certainly accelerates the chaos, but it doesn't initiate it from scratch. The G-virus produces extreme mutations and uncontrolled organic growth. That is exactly what we see in the sewers and in Birkin himself. However, on the surface, classic T-virus zombies predominate, not massive G mutations. If the main outbreak had been caused by the G-virus, the city would show another type of biological transformation, but it's not. Rats could have acted as vectors in the subway system, but that ecosystem is relatively contained. Moreover, between September 22nd and 24th, the city almost completely collapsed. It's unlikely that a virus transmitted solely by water and rodents would destroy an entire city in 48 hours if it was previously completely healthy. The collapse was so swift because the city had already been compromised. Infected hospitals, exposed police personnel, and an infrastructure that had been contaminated for weeks. Birkin was the final catalyst. Marcus was the one who laid the groundwork. Raccoon City was not simply an accident, it was the outcome of a vendetta set in motion 10 years ago. James Marcus did not destroy the city in a single day. He infected it strategically and allowed the entire system to collapse on its own.